Now, without the implementation of the electronic transaction levy, or the e-levy as we know it, to show up revenue and improve the fiscal economy, the country's international bonds will continue to attract high interest rates, which will consequently trigger increased interest payment and devastating effects on the economy subsequently. Well, that's the view of an economist and senior lecturer at the Economics Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Edusa Akodie. He's therefore urging all and sundry to support the government's implementation of the e-levy and as well raise enough revenue to improve the fiscal economy. Take a listen as he spoke to Joy Business.
The arguments are just emotional. They are sentiments. Most of them are just playing to the gallery. Let us have intellectual discourse over this e-levy transaction. I support it. If you are talking about the fact that government should be prudent in its management, I agree. Not only respect to the mobile money, but respect to any other revenue that has been raised in the economy. Prudent management of the economy is an important ingredient. We cannot go beyond that. What are the other sources of raising revenue? If I look at all the other sources of raising revenue, none of them can happen within this short time, like in 3 to 6 months. None of them. I can see property rates giving us 7 billion in like 1 year. I cannot see tax exemptions, which I am not saying that I am against all these sources of revenue. I am in support of the other sources of revenue. But the point I'm making is that in the immediate term, this other source of revenue will not give us the revenue that government is looking for. It will take time. I can't see tax exemptions, property rate, the natural resources giving us 7 billion over in the next 1 year. All this will take time. If government doesn't take the e-levy, what are the consequences? The consequences are that, based on the Fitch and Bloomberg ratings, government will be denied access to the international capital market. The option is that government will have to come domestically and borrow here at a high rate and crowd out the private sector who need the funds for industrial revolution, for industrial growth. The second option is for government to seek bilateral, multilateral, or syndicated loans. And as of now, many countries are also in difficulties, so I don't see that option viable. The next option, which many people don't want to talk about, is the IMF program. And we all know that borrowing from IMF is different from seeking an IMF program.
Meanwhile, ratings agency Fitch has stated that the 1.75% e-levy will boost Ghana's revenue and drive an increase in government revenue by 20% of the total size of the Ghanaian economy. Away from that, the UPSA, in partnership with CARTS International, is set to hold the 3rd edition of the Africa Trade Roundtable here in Accra at the school's auditorium. Now, the edition will be one on the theme, the relevance of AFTA's competition protocols on Ghana's industrial transformation. We're joined via Zoom by the Head of Department Public Law at the UPSA Law School, Dr. Francisca Kosi-Appiah, with more on this. Doc, we're grateful that you could join us. How relevant is AFTA's competition protocols on Ghana's industrial transformation?
Good afternoon to all viewers. Thank you very much. Now, because the AFTA Secretariat seeks to create a common platform for all goods and services, it is very relevant because, you see, when it comes to those who are dominating the market, irrespective of your industry, even if you're a small-scale operator or a very small corner shop, you are operating on the same level with those who are dominating the market. So this is very important. But whilst it's important, we need to have some rules of the game. And the rules of the game requires that we have somewhat competition laws. And the competition laws ensures that there's some healthy rivalry between those who supply goods and services. And that is what tomorrow we are hoping to discuss. And we hope that we will have a lot of representations, especially from the Ministry of Trade, to explain, importantly, to industry players what is required of them, what they seek to benefit, and measures they have to put in place to ensure that they fall in line.
Indeed, and we could see that poster on our television screen. But what other solutions does this forum seek to proffer for improving the country's stakes under the single market trade pact?
Okay. Now, looking at our current, Ghana is always the hub of trade. So looking at our current state, we are hoping that once there's a common market, which is beneficial to Ghana, then there's an opportunity for somebody to sit in Nigeria to purchase electricity at a low rate in Ghana. So we are hoping that once the implementation of the competition protocol comes into play, Ghana is going to play a major role in its implementation. And then the implementation is going to benefit each and every industry player. It's going to trickle down to the very smallest industry player. So that is what we are hoping to achieve.
And we're looking forward to that, especially when we recently witnessed the signing on board of a common payment platform across the South region for the Continental Free Trade Agreement area. But help us understand who the speakers for the event will be.
Okay, thank you very much. We are honored to have our special guest of honor being the Deputy Minister himself of the Ministry of Trade, Honorable Herbert Papa. And then we also have representatives of the Association of Ghana Industries, representatives of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. We have members of the legal fraternity also joining, because you cannot implement the competition protocol without enforcing it. So we have dignified and respected members of the legal fraternity joining us. We also have members of the academia also joining us, because there has to be some implementation and education of the competition protocol.
And indeed, this happens tomorrow, the 25th of January at 9 a.m. But also remind us of, the participants who can participate, those watching us on television, the business community, who exactly can be a part of this forum.
Thank you very much. Everyone, it's very important, each and everyone participates. The reason is that when there's a common platform, common market, the final beneficiary is the consumer. So the businessman, the lawyer, the academic, we're talking about the media, because you have to implement, you have to transmit information to the consumer. We are talking about each student, everyone. So we hope to see everyone tomorrow, 9 a.m. at the UPSA auditorium.
Well, for me as a journalist, I'm quite curious to find out how best this could spell out for us in clear terms. This forum could spell out for us in clear terms direction that we can take as business, as a community when it comes to the AFCHA protocol. But I'm also quite curious to find out your expectations ahead of the forum tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. The first thing is that when it comes to the media, when it comes to implementation of competition, you can never implement competition protocols or policies without the media reporting. If there has been any catalyzation, abuse of dominant position holders, market sharing, it is the media who will transmit all this information. So we need the media to understand their role in implementing this.
Sure.
And tomorrow we are hoping that we are going to have a measure of industry players, we are going to have a measure of the government representatives, we are going to have some reps of the AFTA Secretariat. Why do we need all of them? We need them to be there to ensure that as we come about, right now we are negotiating, all African countries are negotiating the competition protocol. So as we come out with a competition protocol, what is exactly going to be the benefits for the industries? And particularly in this instance, we are talking about Ghana. And if there happens to be some negative impact, what measures are the Ministry of Trade and Industry putting in place to make sure to cushion the industry players? And then what role can the media, academia, and those enforcers, the legal aspect, the legislative arm, and as well as the lawyers, the judges, what role can we play to ensure that as we go ahead, we are increasing in our productivity, in our innovation, to ensure that the consumer is the final beneficiary?
Indeed, it will be a very packed event, and we're just looking forward to it tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the West Wing of the UPSA. Dr. Francisca Kusi-Appiah, we're grateful. She's head of Department Public Law at the UPSA Law School. Away from that, Netherlands-based eco-friendly paper roll manufacturer Goodroll Netherlands BV has chosen Ghana as its major expansion hub to the African continent under a 5.17 million euro beyond of course. Let's get this one well. So, I mean, this particular company is, paying a working visit to the Goodroll factory located in, the eastern region, where the Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Herbert Krapap, has stated that the factory, which is 90% complete, complements the confidence that investors have in government 1D, 1F initiative. We have more in this report. Here at Ekumufi Akosombo in the Sujaman district in the eastern region, construction works are almost complete for a 5.17 million euro bamboo toilet paper factory. This initiative is by Netherlands investors under the guidance of Government One District, One Factory initiative.
This factory is using 100% bamboo grown in Ghana to create to produce about 120 toilet paper rolls in 120,000 rolls in a day, employ about 200 direct people. It's going to be very eco-friendly. They're working with Fair Trade and Farmer Line to ensure that farmers are given the necessary social and economic protection that they deserve, and also that fair practices are adhered to in terms of the operations of the factory, all the way from sourcing the raw material. Of course, the economic activity that this generates is phenomenal, and for me, it is a testament to what the One District Factory stands for, that we are able to help local industry to take advantage of raw materials that are readily available here in Ghana.
With a production capacity of 150,000 bamboo toilet rolls a day, Goodroll Factory Ghana is set to eye Ghana and the West African market under the Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Behind our brand is to make a lot of impact. As we know, Ghana has a lot of resources, and I think we should make more use of them. And that's how we started making toilet paper from bamboo. And apart from that, making a lot of other impact is by giving up with 50% of the profits. We build a lot of toilets in Ghana as well, because we want to change the whole sanitation world and thought in Ghana, and we want to teach and educate the youth about how to better themselves and be more hygienic. So that's a backstory about the Goodroll, and we are trying to change things in Ghana. And apart from the cocoa and the gold business, we want to put ourselves on the map to show ourselves that Ghana also can provide toilet paper. We'll start with about 70 employees from the village. There's a village behind this place in Akosombo. So our idea is actually to transform the whole village to the Goodroll village, because we first of all want to give everybody from the village a chance to get employed.
The Goodroll Netherlands, the biggest shareholder of the Goodroll Africa, is a scale-up business founded in 2017 and located in Wisp. The Goodroll factory is a venture that produces and supplies recycled toilet paper. In line with local content, the company has contracted local contractor Joy C. Prot Limited for construction works of its factory. The One District One Factory initiative is not just providing factories across the country, but also attracting investors around the world, as they also pinpoint the Continental Free Trade Agreement area as a case in point for their investment fortunes. I'm Charles Ayute reporting for Joy Business. You're still watching Business Live with me, Charles Ayute. Still to come, modernity gradually wiping off indigenous products. We'll hear from some traders who are whipping up interest in the dye market of their products in our special feature. Do stay with us. Now, until the introduction of technology, traditional products like clay pot, chewing sponge, also known as takocha in the Ga parlance, and the likes were common in our markets and in various homes. But the situation is different today. Joy Business has been out there to find out if these products are still on the market and whether they are being patronized. Take a look.
Were the most sought after products from way back. Yomo for beautifying the hair, Azuma blows for its durability, just to mention a few. But what is the situation with these products on the markets now? Auntie Moda has sold locally made soap known as Azuma Blows, or better still, Don't Touch Me, for the past 10 years. She tells me that even though the introduction of other soap products posed a threat to the Azuma Blows soap, it is still well patronized.
But later now
it used to be a very popular soap until new products were introduced to the market. But this time, sales is not bad at all due to the expensive nature of the small soap. It leaves clothes very clean when it's used for washing. Bar operators also buy it more.
Edisi normal into samna yeto fine. Yawo 1 cedi and yawo 2 cedis.
Do you remember the famous Irefua fish? Well, Auntie Kai still had some in stock when we visited her stand.
I'm here, I'm smoke kuba me babiosh. Waya wo ye Kaswa market. Alo agbogboshi market.
Customers purchase it a lot. We normally get supply from Kaswa or Agbogboshi. It comes at a particular season and goes off the market until after 2 to 3 years. It is normally used to prepare groundnut soup or ampeshi.
If I send it back home, I can feel no fair no cat your own campeshi. Over bohe, skin over jehe. Call jehe, skin, I can share Sirivahi. None here, AC, so maybe 10 cities.
Even though the use of blender has dominated in many homes, earthenware bowl business seems to be doing well.
The aluminium earthenware bowl is more expensive than the clay. It lasts longer, and people mostly buy and export it outside the country because of its lightweight and durability. It is still very popular in the market.
I work outside. When I can wear me
During our interview, we met Pa Willie. He's been making clay ovens for the past 20 years. He couldn't help but to share with us how the latest trend of gas ovens has crippled his business.
I came to Malamata Market because a woman called me to build a clay oven for her. She was asking me why my business has gone down, and I told her it's because people have adopted a new way of baking bread with gas ovens. It has really crippled my business. I am advising that we go back to our traditional way of baking bread, which is healthier.
For the Queen Mother of Malamata Market, Asafwanye Obedei II, she blamed the media for making our local product unpopular.
It's a blessing to eat in an earthenware bowl because of its sand component. But now people prefer to use blenders, and the sale of earthenware bowls has gone down. Many people beyond 70 apply dye to their hair, but our traditional dye, known in the Ga parlance as Yomo, has been rejected. Rather, we prefer the foreign product. If someone visits your home and sees you grinding on a stone, you will be considered as a cake person, and if care is not taken, they will put you on social media.
19th century person.
The media is killing us.
We are just begging the press. Let's go back. Please, let's go back and bring our traditional things again.
Some buyers shared their opinion with Joy Business.
When we were growing up, we already had them in our homes, so we know the uses of it. That we don't go out of our way to go and buy these old stuff, because perhaps the modern ones are more convenient, time saving and all that. So we prefer buying the modern ones.
I remember the Don't Touch Me, the Azuma Blues. Don't Touch Me is this round carbolic soap. It's like an acidic soap we used to wash. Those days, some use it to bath. So I remember those ones.
And when was the last time you bought any of those things?
No, I can't remember. I can't remember. But I think the last time I went shopping, I saw it around. People still use them. Yeah. I would want us to bring back all those healthy living. It was healthy anyway, but today you see us eating junks. It's not helping. Yeah, so if they say we should bring it back, then they should bring the things and they will also follow.
There's no doubt that our tradition lives on regardless of the introduction of modernization. For Joy Business, I am Beverly Broom.
Indeed, modernity wiping off traditional products. That's how we end this edition of Business Live with me, Charles Aite.